They dig up the dead to marry them.
Right now tonight, in the rural provinces of China, there are men digging up graves. They are not thieves after gold. They are stealing the bodies of young women who died unmarried. Because somewhere, a family has a son who also died alone, and they will pay a fortune for a corpse to be his wife. It is called Minghun, a ghost marriage, and it is not ancient history. It is a 3,000-year-old tradition that is still happening, illegally, today. To understand why anyone would do this, you have to go back, and you have to become the girl at the center of it. So you are 15 years old in Ming, China, and you are alive. For now, your family is poor. Your father farms a strip of rented land. Your mother weaves what she can. You have 3 younger brothers who eat more than the fields can give. You are the eldest daughter, and in Ming, China, an eldest daughter is not a child to be raised. She is a debt to be repaid. You know your marriage will be arranged. You have always known that. You have even let yourself hope. Maybe a farmer's son from the next village. Someone young, someone kind. That is the most a girl like you is allowed to want. Then, one evening, a woman comes to your door, old wearing dark robes, a gold pin in her hair that your family could never afford. She is a matchmaker, but not the ordinary kind. She smiles at your father, and she says she has found a family willing to pay a bride price, larger than anything your father will earn in 10 years. Your father's eyes change, and you feel it in your stomach before anyone says the words, because if the price is that high, something is wrong with the groom. Then the matchmaker tells you what it is. The groom is dead. He died of fever, a wealthy family's only son, 19 years old and unmarried, and his grieving parents will not let him spend eternity alone. They want him to have a wife, a ghost bride, and they have chosen you. Your mother starts to cry. Your father does not look at you. He is already counting the silver in his head. And you understand, in that moment, that the decision has already been made. You just happen to be standing in the room for it. To understand why your life is about to end while you are still breathing, you have to understand what these people truly believe. And this is real, not a story someone invented. This is Minghun, written about for 3,000 years. The belief is this: a person who dies unmarried does not rest. Their spirit is incomplete, restless, lonely, ashamed. In the Chinese view of the world, everything must be in balance, yin and yang, dark and light, female and male. A man who dies with no wife is yang with no yin. He is out of balance, and a spirit out of balance does not stay quiet. It comes back. It brings sickness, bad harvests, dead livestock, misfortune that spreads through the whole family until someone fixes what is broken. And the only thing that can fix it is a wife. This is not a rare superstition. The oldest records go back to the Han Dynasty. In the year 208, the great warlord Cao Cao lost his brilliant young son, Xiao Chong, at just 13, and arranged a ghost marriage for him to a dead girl of the Zhen clan, so the boy would not be alone. If it was good enough for the son of the most powerful man in China, it is expected of everyone. So when a wealthy family's son dies unmarried, they do not grieve quietly. They go looking for a bride, living or dead, and a poor family with too many mouths and an eldest daughter is exactly who they come to. There is no courtship. There is no meeting. Within days, they come for you dressed in red. A ghost wedding looks almost like a real one. That is what makes it so wrong. You wear the red bridal robes. There is a feast. There are musicians. The whole village comes to watch because everyone knows what this is, and everyone is a little afraid of it. But your groom is not there. How could he be? So the dead are represented other ways, sometimes by a wooden spirit tablet painted with his name, sometimes by a life-sized effigy of bamboo and paper dressed in his clothes, that will be burned later so it can follow him into the next world, sometimes in the oldest, cruelest ceremonies, by the corpse itself, propped up to receive its bride. You kneel, you bow to the tablet, you bow to his ancestors, and instead of a ring, they slide a jade bracelet onto your wrist, cold and heavy, yours until you die. And somewhere in the middle of the bowing, it becomes real to you. You are married now, truly, bindingly married in the eyes of the village, the family, and the gods, to a man you have never seen, who will never speak to you, who is already in the ground. You are a wife and a widow on the very same day. You do not go home. A wife belongs to her husband's family, and so now you belong to his. You are carried to their house, far bigger than anything you have known. And there, they take off your red robes, and they dress you in white, the white of mourning, because you are not a new bride to them. You are their dead son's widow. You meet your mother-in-law. She looks at you the way you look at a tool, useful, replaceable, not quite a person. You will call her mother now. You will kneel to her every morning. You will sweep the floors, cook the meals, tend the ancestral altar where your husband's tablet sits, and light the incense for him every single day, morning and night, for the rest of your life. Your days have a shape now, and the shape never changes. You rise in the black cold before dawn and light the first incense while the house still sleeps. You draw the water, you grind the millet, you cook for people who do not thank you and eat before you are allowed to. You scrub the floors of a home that is not yours, in a family that is not yours, wearing the white of a death that was not yours. And you learn the small cruelties fast. The servants outrank you, quietly, because a servant can leave, and you cannot. Your mother-in-law watches your every move for a reason to be displeased. A widow who is not grieving enough is a widow inviting her dead husband's anger. So you learn to keep your eyes down, to move like a shadow, to be present enough to be useful and invisible enough to be safe. On feast days, when the family gathers and laughs, you sit at the edge with your husband's spirit tablet, because your place is beside him, even at dinner, especially at dinner. You bow to a piece of wood with a dead boy's name on it morning and night. You serve a family that will never love you and cannot send you away. You eat alone. You sleep alone in a cold room beside an altar that smells of ash, and the worst part is how ordinary it becomes. You stop crying after the first month, not because it stops hurting, but because there is no one to cry to. And grief with no witness eventually just becomes silence. You are 16 years old, and your entire life, from this day until the day you die, has already been decided by a fever that killed a stranger you will never meet. You might be thinking, she is young, the husband is dead. Surely she can leave. Surely she can start again. No, that is the trap. You are married. In the eyes of everyone, binding lie permanently married. A widow does not remarry. That would shame two families, and worse, it would leave your dead husband alone again, and no one will risk his angry spirit returning. So you cannot marry a living man. You will never have a husband who breathes. You will never have children of your own. The one thing that gave a woman worth and comfort in old age. Your bloodline ends with you. You are in every way that matters buried alive. Given a house, a role, a name, and a life sentence. Some ghost brides endured this for 50 years. 50 years of lighting incense for a boy they never met. 50 years of being a widow to a stranger, in a family that saw them as a curse-repellent, not a daughter. And when you finally do die, old alone, having never once been loved, they will not bury you with your parents. They will bury you beside him, in his tomb, reunited at last with the corpse you were married to at 15. That was the entire point of you. Not your life, your death, your body in the ground next to his, so his ghost would finally rest. You would think a practice this cruel would have died centuries ago. It did not. Ghost marriage is illegal in China today. It is also still happening right now, in the rural north especially. And the modern version is somehow even darker, because today, most families don't marry a living girl to their dead son. They want a corpse, a dead bride for a dead groom, buried together, the belief unchanged in 3,000 years. And that has created something monstrous, a black market for female bodies. When a young woman dies, her body can be worth more than most families earn in a year. So graves are robbed, freshly buried girls are dug up and sold. In some cases, and this is documented in court records, women have been murdered specifically to be sold as ghost brides. The belief that killed a 15-year-old girl's future in the Ming Dynasty is the same belief digging up graves tonight. The clothes changed. The silver changed hands the same way. Somewhere in China, right now a family is paying to make sure their son is not alone in the dark, and a stranger's daughter is being taken from her grave to keep him company. 3,000 years. And the dead are still not allowed to sleep alone.